Welcome back to Love and Murder. It's the middle of October, so let me ask, are you afraid of haunted houses? What about a mansion where two 400-pound overall flannel-wearing eerie-twin brothers reside? Some mansions are lovely, but in this big house, friends come to visit but never make it out alive. If you love murder mysteries, come inside. Make yourself at home if you dare. It's Love and Murder.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Love and Murder. I am your host, Ky, along with my co-hosts, the gorgeous, the beautiful, the well-spoken, I need to write down new adjectives.
Okay, I paid her to say that, listeners. I promise you I did. Okay, I paid her. The going rate was $50. Remember that, Ky? Wink, wink. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Great introduction. I'm Share. How is everyone?
Yes.
Welcome back to another episode of Love and Murder.
Like I said, this show is called Love and Murder. And on this show, we are a weekly true crime episode. And we don't just talk about just any true crime. No. That would be too easy. What we do is we talk about true crime dealing with relationships gone terribly wrong. And when I say terribly wrong, Char, how wrong do I mean?
She means dead wrong, dead as a doornail.
Dead wrong. D-E-D. So, if you have listened to us before, or even if you're new, check us out wherever you get your podcasts. You could find us on Stitcher. You could find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, just wherever you usually listen to your podcast. Follow us on social media. The links will be in the show notes below. But I also say it at the end of the show. I don't say it at the beginning. So if you don't want to hear me say it, you could just click on the links below. But if you want to hear my gorgeous voice say the links, you can wait till the end of the show and I'll tell you all of our social media links. Now, if you want bonus episodes of the craziest true crime stories, relationship Q&A, Char's crazy stories, relationship advice, you have a relationship question that you want answered, you want to just donate to us, or you want to get my new YouTube channel. You'll get the entire show before it's even put out on YouTube. And when I put it on YouTube, it's only clips, it's only bits and pieces. But if you join us over on Patreon, you get the entire thing.
That's right.
This is me reacting to just
craziness.
It's called, so let me just give you a hint. It's called The Chit Show. So if you like talking chit or listening to people talk chit, then you'll love my show.
I like it.
So if you want any of those, then definitely visit us on patreon.com/love and murder and become a subscriber of $3 and above. Now, if you've listened to our show before and you like it, then please go to Apple Podcasts, hit that purple button and give us 5 stars. It brings us up in the charts and helps other people easily find our podcast and listen to our true crime stories. I want you to say whatever you want in the description. You can say, I don't know, Char is beautiful. Ky, you can give me more adjectives. That's what you could do. Give me more adjectives to describe.
You can say Char is so strange. I don't know. Like she's really weird. She's fake. Beautiful and fake.
Wow, that's not something nice to say.
Well, I mean, people can, we want them to be able to speak their minds. It's okay. We can take it. Bring it on.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can say whatever you want in the description. Now we got some feedback. I wonder if I could find it. We got some feedback and I thought it was hilarious.
It was. Okay.
I don't know if I'll be able to find it because I didn't expect to read it.
I know, because I could have pulled it. But some people wake up and they didn't have their Cheerios this morning. Or maybe there was something in their Cheerios that morning. So
I found it. So this person basically roasted us, which I'm fine with. But she goes, horrible podcast. Sound quality is awful, and 34 minutes in, and the two hosts can't shut up talking about themselves long enough to tell the actual story. So, what I say to that is, first of all, we're new. We're still getting used to the audio, but thank you so much
Technical
for
issues.
your feedback, because your feedback, no matter if it's good or bad, it does help us get better.
Absolutely.
So
Your candor
we are
does
still
matter.
working out the audio because we are in completely different sides of the United States. We're nowhere close. So we're still working on the audio. So we apologize for the sound quality. We do thank you for our fans that do sit and listen to our horrible, terrible, no good, very bad sound quality. But I promise you, we're working on getting better each and every episode.
week.
Yes. And as far as us not being able to shut up talking about ourselves, well, like we said, you come here for the true crime. You come here for the stories. You come here for the humor. You come here for the mystery. We are not a show that's just like, okay, so let's just go into him stabbing her in the face and that's all.
Yeah,
We're not that kind of show.
No, our banter is one reason people do love us.
Yeah,
so we're just going to
if
keep
you
it
don't
up.
like how we do the show, then you're free to not listen. We're not holding you here. We're not part of Love and Murder. We just tell Love and Murder. So we're not holding you hostage. We're not holding you here. So thank you for coming, and bye. That's it. We're not going to change the format of our show. This is our show.
Bye-bye now.
But
As they
we
say
do
on
want
the
to thank
airplane.
you.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
But we do want to thank you for listening to our show, and we do want to thank you for taking the time out to write your feedback. That was very, I mean, I'm not even trying to be sarcastic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, we do appreciate it.
Yes.
Yes.
So now that we went through that, and we did get good feedback too, that I'll post on social media. So if you follow us on social media, we actually had someone who was, what episode was it? She was friends with one of
we know. That was the polygamy murders.
Yeah, the polygamy murders.
What is that tongue twister? Polygamy
one
murders.
person was friends with a girl of the polygamy
one of the
murders.
characters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she said her mom tried to shield her from that, but she loved our rendition of the show, and she was very happy because the way we told the show kind of helped her come to
maybe
terms.
understand a little more too about what happened.
So that was episode 3, which is called Three's a Crown, Crowd, the polygamy murders with Jesse James Cummings. That was his case. So we got that feedback, and we get good feedback. We usually don't get bad, but
not too often. No, but there's always going to be someone out there in the world. That's okay.
And I mean,
it
we
means
like
they're
your
listening.
feedback.
They're listening.
Exactly.
So
we like your
fine.
feedback, whether good or bad. It tells us what we need to fix. So and by the time we get to the point of fixing everything, and you're still telling us to fix everything, then I don't know what to say. Still give your feedback either way.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. So this show, this episode is about a duo who we previously and briefly covered. They were actually in episode 23 called It's a Twin Thing. Remember that episode? You weren't on that episode with me. I did that episode by myself.
No, I'm going, unless I did it in my sleep or in another life.
No, I did that one myself. So
a quantum leap or something. I don't know. Is that what I did? No, I wasn't there.
Episode 23, it's called It's a Twin Thing. So we're talking about this case. Like when I was doing that episode, I was like, no, I need to find out more about these brothers. And I think I said it in the episode that we were going to have a show on them. So here's the show on them. So their names are Pete Bondurant and Pat Bondurant, and they're twins. If the name of that previous episode didn't give it away, so they're twins. So Pete,
it kind of did. So,
some people didn't get it, so I still had to help them along, connect the dots. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, take them by the hand. They understand.
You got to do that sometimes. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Pete and Pat Bondurant were born in April 1955 in Elkton, Tennessee, to parents Hugh and Sydney Bondurant. Their last name is hard for me to say, but anyways,
I kind of like it though, Bondurant with a V.
No,
right?
Bond with a B.
I'm thinking
boy.
You're saying V, like Van de Kamp's Pork and Beans. Oh, you're saying B as in
hell?
boy. Von. I'm thinking V.
Van de Kamp's Pork.
Van de Kamp's is VAN. So I'm thinking you're saying Bondurant.
But okay,
you don't eat pork and beans. Okay, she doesn't eat those guys. in hot dogs?
I mean, I wasn't trying to
Okay.
point that out. I was just saying that I'd have no
Well,
idea
I
what you're
just
talking
thought I
about.
would point it out because that's what came to mind.
And I do eat
but I have
hot
the
dogs.
wrong spelling.
I eat all natural kosher hot dogs. Thank
No,
you
no,
very
no.
much.
You're missing my point. I love kosher. In fact, well, we're not doing plugins here, but I love the kosher hot dogs, particularly the ones at Coney Island in New York. Not saying a name, but honestly, I was talking about beans and hot dogs together, beanie weenies and hot dogs.
I mean,
you know,
I
as a
make my
kid.
own. Yeah, I eat that. It's delicious.
You put them in the beans.
Yes, I
That's
do. They're
oh,
delicious.
okay,
I buy vegetarian beans and kosher
right.
hot dogs, chop it up, put a little tiny bit of raw brown sugar,
Yep,
put some
that's me.
vegan butter, and put the hot dogs in there, mix it up, boil them. Oh, so good.
And you know what? We get recipes on the show too,
I know, right?
guys.
It's
So there
love,
you
murder,
go.
and recipes.
And recipes, right?
So anyway, it's good that they were actually born as twins because their parents had no other kids. It was just them. So they ended up having each other. Now, Hugh and Sydney were civil servant employees for the U.S. Army, which actually meant they moved around a lot with their family. So if you were raised as a military brat, you know that, I'm going to say we because I was raised as a military brat.
And Ky knows all about that.
We
Absolutely.
move around every 3 years, and sometimes it's as soon as every year. So they moved around, and when you do that, you make friends, and then you're losing friends. So you get a complex of, they're going to come and go. You don't really hold lifelong
That's
friends.
kind of sad, though, to not have that stability.
Yeah, you're not
As a
used to the
kid.
stability, and then when you grow up, you're like,
A
when
loner?
that 3 years come, you get that itch to move.
Oh,
You
that anxiety.
Not stay in one place too long, and that is
Right.
totally me. The only reason I'm in one place is because I wanted to give my daughter that stability, but it is killing me. So, anyways. The other thing you become aware of as a military brat is that usually, but not always, the parent who's in the military or who actually deals closely with the military, they turn into some kind of drill sergeant. I don't
That's
know
what
what it is.
I was picturing that. Yeah, Major Payne, that movie came to mind.
Yeah, they always turn into some kind of drill sergeant. I don't understand that.
It's a true complex. I've heard that so many times from friends
I
who've
don't
told
know
me that.
why.
Yeah.
And they treat their kids like their kids are in the military.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't sign up for the military. So
It's 1700. You get off this bed,
oh
soldier.
my God, Char,
Now.
I could tell you stories.
And an inspection is at 7 a.m., the white glove inspection. You're like, but Dad, I just wanted to get up and go to school. Drop and give me 10. Like, okay.
Dude,
okay, this is just a bit much. Like,
It's no,
kind of a
you're
flashback.
laughing. Drop and give me 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inspection. Yeah. White glove inspection. Yeah. I had to make my bed like the military, fold my clothes like the military. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, anyways, that's exactly how
They were
was.
raised.
hmm He was described as loud and borderline abusive towards the boys and his wife Sydney. So, I mean, that's how they are, too. They get loud. What are you doing? Ooh, like, I didn't sign up for the military.
Like, why are we yelling again? I'm sorry. I that's, like, just to wake
It's
up.
6
all
a.m.
day.
How are you still
Yeah.
asleep? I'm 12. Like, I don't know.
And it's Saturday, Dad?
Yeah. So, anyways, now, some twins are fraternal, and you could obviously tell them apart. Now, I've heard that even though twins are like boy girl, like I've heard this from people with fraternal twins who are literally boy girl twins. People still ask them if they're identical twins, and I'm like, I don't think
that's so
people
strange.
grasp the concept of identical. So
I mean, he doesn't look anything like me. So
Yeah, right.
what are you asking again?
he's kind of taller than me. He's 5'8"
Yeah.
and I'm 5'3". But Pete and Pat were actually identical, and people say the only way to tell them apart was that Pat wore glasses. Now, I've known a lot of identical twins in my life. For some reason, in all my schools, I had identical twins. And I was friends with most of them. And I think there's only been one set of twins that I couldn't tell apart. But I could always tell twins apart. They look different. I mean, I can see they look
Well,
alike.
there's something like a mo or just a certain grin or something
No,
about them.
No, their face
No?
looks different to me. Like I said, there was only one set I couldn't tell apart. But,
Okay.
I could tell, like, for instance, if they were, like, at an angle or, like, I just
Mm-hmm.
glanced, then, yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell them apart. But if I paid attention, You could clearly see the differences. And then also a trick that I learned, I don't know if I want to call it a trick, but this is what I learned. One twin, their face is usually rounder than the other twin. So there's one twin with a rounder face, not saying a fat face, but a
No, I
rounder
know.
looking
That
face.
makes perfect sense.
And there's one twin with a narrow face. Now, the one with the rounder face is usually the twin that, there's two people born, and one of them is always bigger than the other. There's one that's always bigger. So the one with the rounder face is usually the one that was born bigger. So,
Okay.
but again, I'm not saying they're fat or anything. They just have a rounder face. And then there's one with a more narrow face. So that's the first thing that, immediately tells them apart. So just pay attention. That's the thing. People don't pay attention. I pay attention. So.
No, actually, I was going to point something out because we both watched 90 Day Fiancé. Do you remember Darcy? Darcy
Yeah,
and
you
Mark.
can clearly tell Darcy and Stacey apart.
You can tell the difference, right? Yes, because, okay, I'm going to say Darcy definitely has, in my opinion, the rounder face. It's so obvious.
Stacey,
a little bit,
and I know this is going to sound
and then Stacey's a little slimmer face.
terrible. Yeah. But before all their freaking surgeries where they look like clowns now.
Yeah.
Before,
oh, gosh. Unrecognizable, yes.
Stacey actually looked prettier than Darcy. And
Right,
I know y'all are
that's
going to jump on
crazy.
me because I seem
That's
to be
crazy.
pitting sisters
That's
against
so
each other,
true.
which I'm not. But Stacey was very much prettier than Darcy.
Yeah, you can
But
see
I
that
think
before.
I think, because when you look at them younger, they look the same. They're both the same level of
When they
pretty.
were, like, much younger, yes.
Yeah, but I think it was that Darcy started getting plastic surgery before Stacey.
Before
so
Stacey
Stacey
did.
had her natural
Yeah.
look, and she looked really pretty, and Darcy
Yeah.
had already started looking weird. So yeah,
That's so true. You guys, we're just like fanatics for the show. We love the show.
Yeah.
So we can actually speak on that. But it's don't take our word for it.
yeah.
Watch it for yourself. And what do you think? But Ky can tell. She can tell the difference. So,
Yeah, for the most part,
absolutely.
like I said, there was one set of twins that I couldn't. Now, the twins were considered very strange to everyone else when they were young. They did almost everything together, and they dressed identically. They sat on the same bus seat. Now, the weird thing about them sitting on the same bus seat is they were like big. They were like big.
Oh, I'm not
So,
even picturing that. Okay.
It was even hard for them to sit on this little bus seat together. But, they forced themselves to do it. And that's what's strange to me. Like, you're like halfway falling out of the seat. Why are you forcing yourself? So let me tell you how big they were. The twins weighed 250 to 300 pounds when they were in 7th grade. How old are you in 7th grade? Was that like 12?
13th, 14th?
Yeah, no, not 14.
No,
14 is
7th
9th grade.
grade.
7th
no,
grade, that's
you're
like
right.
12,
7th,
11.
yeah, 11, 12.
Yeah, how are you that big at 12?
But are you saying
250?
300 between the two of them?
No, I didn't
Not
say
one of them.
combined. One of
Really?
them, 250 to 300 pounds.
What? I can't even
Yes.
picture that because I'm
Yes.
thinking a child. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's so strange. Okay,
That's crazy.
wow. Yeah.
Now, Pete was described as a lot more outgoing and easier to talk to. In fact, he would often brag about his various skills and the fact that he was well read and had graduated high school and passed all his classes, which to me, like, what? That's what you're supposed to do. What's that to
it's
brag about?
expected. Hello.
Some people don't do that. They just take the what do you call it? What do you call that test?
SATs?
No,
The
not the
SATs?
SAT.
The
Whatever
I don't
test
know.
that you just test out of high school. I can't remember. It starts with a
oh, and it lets you out early. I forgot what that was
G.
called.
Or people
Yeah.
don't go to high school and you take the test to just get your diploma. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Y'all tell us because I can't
If you
remember what
guys
it's
know,
called.
please tell us in the comments because
Yeah.
now it's gonna rack our brains while we're sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, some people
I'm like, what
have a
is that
hard
called?
life at home, and they can't.
Yeah, and they have to get out early.
Yeah, but for the rest of us who don't have a hard life and they finish school, that's literally what you're supposed to do: graduate, be
Yes, that's
pass your
expected.
classes. Like, come on now.
Prepare for your life as an adult. Hello.
Yeah. Pat, now, on the other hand, was a lot more introverted and shy, and he didn't talk that much. He didn't brag. He just let his brother do all the talking. You know what I'm saying? He did all the talking. He did all the bragging, and Pat just sat there like, okay.
He talks enough for both of us. I'm good.
Yeah, they would read a lot of paperback books, but the weird thing about that is they always read the exact same book. So now I'm wondering, did they like literally read the exact same book or just the exact same title? You know what I'm saying? It didn't say that when I was researching. It said the exact same book, but did that mean like they literally sat there together, one holding one side and the other holding the other side, like reading the exact
that's a
same
little
book?
odd. Yeah.
That would drive me insane.
Yes, I have
Oh
to
my
have a little privacy.
No, it's just
Privacy.
no, because you know you have
It's
to
just
wait.
weird.
You have to wait for the person to catch. Like you'll finish reading the page, and you have to wait for the person to
Oh, I
catch up.
see. Yeah, to catch up
Oh
before
my
it. And I'm like, no, don't turn the
God.
page yet. I was still over here.
No,
Like,
that would drive me insane. I read really
Yeah.
fast, especially when I'm reading to myself. I read super fast, and then especially when it comes to a good part, I think I start
Yeah.
speed reading, and I don't.
yeah,
I,
that's what I was gonna say. Did you ever learn speed reading? It sounds like you probably do.
yeah,
You
and I don't
pick
have
up those paragraphs
I
in your
don't
head. Like,
have
got it.
time for somebody to be reading
wanna see
like the
what's gonna
description
happen.
of the moon. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a moon. Move on.
It was super blue that particular night.
Like,
okay.
oh, God.
No.
Yeah,
Let's see
no.
what else is gonna happen.
I'm somebody who
Yeah.
loves reading. Like the twins, I prefer to sit in a corner. Even though I had friends and everything, I preferred for people leave me alone and let me read my book. I love
That was definitely me too. I love that too.
I
That's just, I'm
loved
so
reading.
happy.
I still
I'd
love
rather get lost
reading.
into the book, lost into their adventures in their life sometimes. It's,
I mean,
you know,
it's not even
touch-
getting lost into other people's
Yeah.
adventures. I just like, my favorite books are mysteries. So I just like reading. It's not getting lost in other people's lives. It doesn't take me away from my life. I just like reading, and I like figuring out mysteries. Or if I can't figure it out, just reading the end or whatever. But the only reason I still like reading now, but the only reason I can't read is because I have a kid, and I realized early on that once I start my book, and then she'll be like, "Mommy, I'm hungry," and I'll be like,
I'm
"Oh
hungry.
my God!"
Just wait. Mommy has to get to the end. of
I'll
the
be
next page
so
or-
mad, like, "Oh
Chapter
my God!"
27.
And I'll just put my book down, like,
Yeah.
ah. I have to go
Yeah.
feed her, and my book is waiting there calling to me. So I was like, you know what? Before I have a toxic relationship with my child over reading, let me just leave books alone. So I still buy my books. They build up. And then when she's like in 12th grade and doesn't really need me, I'll go back to reading. But for the time
Yeah,
being,
yeah. Can you imagine, your kid is like 5 years old, 6 years old, and you're like, oh, honey, it's okay. You can make the spaghetti yourself.
Right.
And don't forget the garlic bread. Mommy's busy.
Mommy's
it'll
busy.
be okay. But mommy, I don't know how. Oh, sure you do. Just give it a try.
Oh my God, I went
know?
on vacation like 3 years ago. So it was my mom was there, me, my daughter, my mom, and then some other family members. And because my
How
mom
fun.
was there, she took care of my daughter. I read 5 books in like
Oh, you had told me about that.
in like
That was years ago, yeah.
3 days, was it, or something like that? Oh my God, I
Yeah.
was just devouring
Straight through.
books. Oh.
Yeah.
But
Because I
anyway,
asked you, I was like, you took those on vacation?
well,
You're like, yeah.
Well, I took
Yeah.
one book with me, but while I was on
You
the
bought-
plane, I couldn't reach
oh.
that book. So I had some ebooks, which I hate ebooks. I like the feel of books, but reading is
too.
reading. So on the plane, I had my tablet and I had some ebooks saved. So I was like, let me try this out. And that book was so good that I ended up reading the entire series in like a weekend. So that's what happened.
That's crazy. But it's a good feeling. It's what you do.
Yeah.
It's what some people
So,
love.
like I said, they would read the exact same book. Like, again, I don't know if that was the exact same book literally or just the same
Or the title, like you were saying.
Yeah, and they would often get bullied and intimidated by the fact, like, they did everything together, which, why is that weird? I'm pretty sure everybody wishes they had a twin.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's weird because, again, when I think of Marcy and Stacy, I'm like, okay. Or Darcy and Stacy, I'm like, okay, they do everything, but it's
They
natural too. I don't think that's strange.
They have a
I don't think it's
horrible
strange.
toxic relationship, those two. They compete against each other. Yeah. Anyways, and because everybody bullied them and intimidated them, and their father was loud and all of this stuff, they actually found solace in each other. They also got bullied by just people in the neighborhood. Like, everybody was just bullying them, so they just chilled with each other.
How do you bully a big kid though? That's kind of hard to do. Because usually it's the big kids that bully the other kids.
I mean, maybe they haven't. Maybe they hadn't like gotten to that point, so they were just like gentle giants. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they ended up protecting and defending each other all the time. So if somebody like bullied one, the other one would jump in, or you know what I'm saying? They were always defending each other. Now, because Pete had was a lot more outgoing and vocal, this actually translated into him being like the leader of the two brothers. So he would often make decisions for both of them. And like I said, Pat was a lot more submissive. He was quiet and introverted, and then he just ended up following along with whatever Pete told him to do. And people also noticed that they fed off of each other's emotions, and they also reciprocated each other's emotions very easily. Like, for instance, if Pat was feeling sad or angry, Pete would also feel like sad or angry. Or even if he actually wasn't feeling sad or angry, he would try to emulate those emotions just so he could have the same emotions.
So he can have the feelings that his twin did.
Yeah. You say, I think that's, I mean, I'm not a twin, so maybe, but I don't know any twins like that. Maybe there are.
No, I'm saying it like it's sweet. You don't think that's sweet?
No, I don't think that's sweet.
Isn't it called empathy?
You talking about like pregnancy pains where the husband feels it? So
no, well, almost, because think of it like
so
this.
I guess empathy.
Well,
pains,
because twins actually feel emotion at the same exact time, in certain situations they feel exactly the same emotion.
Some twins, sometimes.
Well,
yes.
not all twins, that's true, but I'm just saying that's a type of an empathy. Like I really want to feel either naturally.
I guess.
Yeah,
but that's kind of a mental. That's putting like a mental strain on you. Like you are having a great day, but your brother or sister is sad. So you force yourself to feel sad. Like that's kind of...
Force yourself to feel sad. I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Wow.
No, you could still have empathy without messing up your emotional well-being.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's crazy.
So no.
Okay, yeah, I get your point. That is a little odd. There was a few odd things about these little cute little boys. I don't know.
Little.
These
I wouldn't say
little 20s.
Yeah.
The big 20s.
So
big
residents of Elkton said that the brothers would intimidate everyone because of their huge size, and they had these trademark flannel shirts. I don't know how the flannel shirts were intimidated. I mean, I'm not intimidated by flannel, but maybe I should start being.
Little lumberjacks.
Oh my God, flannel shirt, hide!
I don't know. Flannel,
but
run.
I mean, I can understand how they were intimidated by their size, especially if the brothers were starting to like, I'm not getting bullied anymore, and they started changing their personality or whatever. So I don't know. Now, there were also a lot of rumors flying around about them. One such rumor was that they would bury cats up to their head and then run over the cats with lawnmowers.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's yeah. I can't
really
imagine
scary.
people who would hurt animals just for the sake of hurting an animal. That's just so bizarre to me.
I think
Like
it's
even
just
if
really
even
sad.
if you are, and I understand, vegans don't do this or don't believe in this, but even if you're killing an animal for food, you don't scare it, you don't hurt it, you don't make it feel fear. You just get it over with and then eat it. So you don't just hurt an animal. I guess you don't agree with me, Char. I don't know. But anyways.
No, I was just thinking of my my little meow interpretation of your cats, and that's what came to mind. And I was thinking as the head was coming off, it's like,
Oh, don't think like that. Aw.
I mean, I'm just imagining how sad that is.
Yeah.
Well, you are getting it over with, Ky. That's pretty quick. That's a quick,
No.
maybe painless death because it's so fast.
That is not a death
But
for
it is
a
torture.
reason.
No, it's not.
No.
I agree.
Eating it or needing leather and then still eating it, not wasting the meat or whatever. Using the entire animal for whatever you need, whether it's clothes, shelter, and food. That's a need. Running over it with
There's no need for that.
And
Yes.
again, you're scaring it first. So you're torturing it. You caught an animal, you put it in a hole. It's freaking
Yeah, and it
out.
can't move, and it's going.
And
I
then
can't
you
move, I
know
can't
when
breathe. It's-
animals hear like the vacuum cleaner, for instance, they're ready to
Yeah,
run.
they
So
do
they're
freak
hearing
out.
the
They don't like that.
lawnmower and they're freaking out. So
and they can't move. Yeah, I get
No,
it.
even though you're saying it's quick, they're tortured crazily before that. So no, and there's no reason for you to do it except for your sick pleasure. So no. And I know PETA or vegans would tell me the same thing about killing an animal for food or clothing or whatever, but that's y'all's opinion. So, whatever.
Well, it's a good thing we're not sponsored by.
I'd be like, I'm talking about a fake goat, not a real one.
Not a real one.
A fake goat. We built it and put vegan meat inside of it. Yeah, it was fake. That's right. That's what we're talking about. So
It was filled with tofu.
so when they got older, they actually became heavily involved in the drug scene. They would sell pills, cocaine, and stuff like that. Whatever, weed. I can't think of any other drugs. Pills, cocaine.
You've
Is
said
crack,
enough.
Is crack cocaine? Yeah, because they say crack
Yes, it's
cocaine.
a form of. Yes, it is. Yes.
I think
I mean, there's heroin. They could sell that.
heroin.
Maybe.
I forgot about that.
There's crystal meth. I mean, they sell drugs.
Isn't there methamphetamines? Something.
Okay, we're being a little too specific. The
Y'all
fact
have
is, they
to
sell
understand,
drugs.
I am running
but
off
Ky
of...
doesn't have a clue.
First of all, yes, I really don't. Plus, I'm running off of 4 hours of sleep, so I had to get this whole show together.
She's like, let's break down every street drug known to man.
While I was getting this show together, I was falling asleep on myself. So yeah, but anyway, so I'm gonna probably be acting a little bit silly or sound really.
You really fell asleep at your computer.
I
was just getting that
fell
visual.
asleep at my computer. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyways,
that's hilarious.
If I sound a little like my brain cells are not here, I promise you I'm not on drugs. I'm just lack of sleep right now. But because of their size, they were known to get whatever they wanted, whatever you wanted, whatever drugs you were looking for. So they got it whenever they wanted, and whatever you wanted. So they quickly became popular just because of the drug dealing business. And, being with the background they came from, with everybody bullying them and they weren't popular in school or anything, they just, you feel that rush when you get popular. I remember when I got popular, it took me a while to come down from, not a while. I came down from it after a year, 6 months, a year, because I realized I was becoming a douchebag. But
what grade were you in when you became popular?
Like half of 10th. The second half of 10th, because I just decided
that sounds about normal, because most kids are not popular in 9th grade. They're too fresh, but that sounds about normal around 10th grade.
Yeah, maybe. And then I let it get to my head, and then I realized I was turning into a douchebag, and I came down. So, they spent their whole high school years, just being bullied. And so when you feel that first rush of, oh, people are paying attention to me, they're listening to me, I'm popular, then they want to keep that. So that's what happened. In 1975, Pete was living with 2 other men and 2 women in Cincinnati during what he referred to as, quote, a directionless phase in my life. That's what he said. So I guess that's why he wasn't living with his brother at the time, because maybe he just wanted to see what it was like to be by himself for a little while. Maybe his own identity. He was looking to find himself. I don't even know what that means anywhere. I've heard people on TV say that they want to find themselves. Like, what is that? How are you lost from you?
When did you get lost?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, what do you need to...
Where'd you go?
I don't understand find yourself. Like, what are you talking about? I have never been lost from myself. Since I've been born, I've literally known exactly where personally I am at the moment. Even if I'm lost in the world, I know where I am. So how do you find yourself?
But as a twin, this kind of makes sense. In general, people do say that. But as a twin, I could see you wanting to find your own identity away from your twin.
I can see that. Yeah,
because you never knew yourself outside of your twin.
No, because
everything's
I've
about
heard
them.
Twins say that. Like Tia and Tamara, they're talking. They're like they're the twins. The twins. People actually refer to you as the twins.
We have names, and they're individual names.
Like
they are.
Like Tia has said. No, it was Tamara. She said that even if it was just one of them by themselves, they'd say, "Hey, twins!" Like it's like,
I know, because they're so used to it. Now, could you tell that's one of your favorite shows when they were growing up on television? Could you tell the difference without the mo? Because I think
totally
Tia has
tell
the mo.
Difference. There's in certain
besides
shows.
the mo, I'm saying
you can tell the difference. Okay. In certain shows, they if you look, they've played each other. Like it's supposed to be
I've heard
Tamara
that. Mm-hmm.
and it's Tia. And I'm like, wait, that's Tia. That's Tia.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you could totally tell them apart. Tamara's face is a bit longer and Tia's face is shorter. Tia's eyes, even though they have the same exact eyes, because I've always looked at their eyes to see why it looks so different to me, but they have the same exact eyes. Tia's eyes are more like deep set than Tamara's eyes. So
maybe by a hair, but you do see a difference.
no, you see the difference, a complete difference in their eyes. I don't know why, because they have the exact same eyes. But I've looked, and Tamara, I was like, why do they look so different to me? But they look exactly the same. So I actually sat there and stared. I know this is going to sound creepy, but I stared at their pictures one day just trying to see where the differences are. Tamara's chin is a little bit longer than Tia's chin. And then, like I said, Tia's eyes just appear more deep set than Tamara's eyes. But they're both gorgeous. I'm not saying anyone is less attractive than the other. They just have different features. But you could totally tell them apart.
As long as their husbands can tell them apart, that's all that matters.
I mean, yeah. That's all that matters. So anyways, so the two roommate women. So remember, there's 2 men, 2 women, and then Pete. So the 2 women went out one night to get cigarettes. And I'm just going to go get cigarettes. We'll be right back. Okay, we're sitting here chilling, watching Ace Ventura. Well, no, 1975 Ace Ventura wasn't even out. What was out in 1975?
Oh my God. The
Aliens?
The Brady Bunch?
Brady Bunch. Okay, yeah, Brady Bunch. Okay, so we're just chilling here with our psychedelic colored walls and our polyester outfits, watching the Brady Bunch. So yeah, cool cat. That's how they talked back then, right? Yeah, cool cat. Yeah, we'll just be here waiting for you, jive turkey.
Not the jive turkey. And it's like that was always stuck in there somewhere in the 70s.
I've only heard it on TV, so I'm just going with that. So anyway, they went out and got cigarettes, and when they got back, they're like, knocked on the door, and Pete was like, just a minute. He answered, he opens the door, and he's just holding like this bloody knife in his hand. Now, if this happened to you, what would you think? Your roommate just answers the door with a bloody knife in his hand. What would you think?
I mean, I don't know, because he lives there. So I don't know if I should say, hey, come on in, or get out of here, get away from me, and slam the door and like not let him in. I don't know.
There'd be 2 things. Because I really don't trust people, I'm more inclined to be like WTF and head the other way. Mm-hmm. But I could understand what these women thought also, because, any sane person, which I'm not a sane person, any sane person
by any means
would just think like, it's a joke, like, oh, you're trying to prank me, oh, whatever.
Well, was it near Halloween? Because, it could be.
It doesn't matter.
Like, oh, it's a prank.
They might be trying to prank him. It doesn't matter. People do it all the time. Yeah. So they thought it was a joke, and they were like, whatever, Pete, move out of my way. And they pushed past him.
That's just silly, Pete.
And when they got in the house, that's when they saw one of their roommates lying on the couch, bleeding like crazy, and the other one on the living room floor. That's when they freaked the F out. They called the police, and when the police got there and they did their initial investigation, they found that one of the men had been stabbed more than 40 times. And most of the stabbing was done with a screwdriver.
Ew.
Yeah. It wasn't even like you had to, with a knife. I mean, I don't have experience with this. What I read is with a knife, you have to it's hard even to get the knife, and that's
to
something
pull it
with
back
sharp edge.
Yeah.
Imagine a blunt screwdriver. How hard you have to do that. Oh my
that's crazy.
God. So,
not to mention how mad you'd have to be.
Oh my God.
To do that.
Yeah. So
that
they took him to the hospital, and he later died from his injuries.
Of course.
And I know y'all, like me, you're wondering what happened in what would it take? 30 minutes to go to get some cigarettes and come back? So 30 minutes or less?
Well, they didn't say how long he...
Well, I'm saying what... Mm-hmm. To get cigarettes, They just went to get cigarettes and come back. So it could have
Yeah.
just been the corner store. So it could have been 10 minutes. I'm giving it
Yeah.
30 minutes. I'm saying 30 minutes.
Yeah, just for maximum, in case he went across town and, oh, maybe they don't have him here, I'll go somewhere else. But it shouldn't be any longer than that.
What
I don't even smoke, but
VF happened in 30 minutes to go from we're watching Brady Bunch
yeah,
to stabbing 40 times? So
right.
neither the women nor the police ever got a reason from Pete. He never said anything. It's like, what? So you just did this and you don't even want to give us a reason? I need to know why you went crazy. But he never said anything.
Do you remember which of the twins was the talkative one? Because I thought Pete was the quiet one. Which one was Pete, the quiet one or the talkative one?
No,
growing
Pete was
up?
the talkative one.
That's what I thought. But he didn't say anything to the police?
No, he turned into Pat at that
Then
time.
he decided he turned into his brother.
Yeah.
The worst mom. My brother speaks for me. My brother speaks for me. Like, that's crazy.
So Pete was actually convicted and sentenced to 25 years. But thanks to our lovely judicial system, he was granted parole after only 5 years. Yep. In part because he was an out-of-state inmate and the prison was actually overcrowded.
Overcrowded. I knew there was some
How
red
does
tape
this make sense?
coming up.
So a
No,
brutal
it doesn't.
killer who inexplicably stabbed up 2 people who
Yeah.
lived with him, who was his roommates, who didn't treat him badly. He just stabbed them up. They were like, 5 years, you're free. All right, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out.
And no explanation and no remorse.
No explanation.
That's
Yep.
what I'm
Yep.
trying to wrap my head
They're
around,
like,
Ky.
look, let me be honest with you. You're not from around these parts. And it's busy in here anyway. So you learned your lesson?
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. Okay, we'll take your word
I'm
for
good.
it. We'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
All right. Pack your bags. Get out. Get out. You learned, right? You promised? Pinky promise? I swear. Okay, get out. We trust you. Like,
I mean,
what?
you're going to feed the homeless tomorrow, right? Out on the corner. Yeah, I sure am.
Yeah.
Turkey sandwiches. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, you're good.
Thumbs
you're
up.
good. You've learned
You've
a lot
your
here.
lesson. All right. Beat it. Beat it, kid.
Wow.
So by the mid 80s, the boys had acquired a reputation of being one of the best and most sought after drug dealers. Imagine that reputation.
know plenty of people that have that reputation. So
Yeah. So they had established. Now, side note, I don't know how they came across this. Like, I don't know if they bought it or they just manhandled it out of somebody. It was never told to me how they got this, but they had established a mansion. They just got a freaking mansion where people could come over, party, do drugs, and basically just chill. Now, at this time, there was what people would call, quote, an aura of respect, unquote, for the twins because of their notoriety in the drug business. Another aura they presented was one that screamed, don't effing mess with us because we'll cut you.
right.
So they had that aura also. Now, people also said that Pat would just walk around and randomly like eat handfuls of 1 pound raw hamburgers, not cooked, raw. He would just walk around eating raw, uncooked meat made into a hamburger. Like he had the freaking beef. He made it into a patty, you know.
And then
he put
instead
some
of putting it on the
onions
grill,
and pickles
he's like,
and
oh gosh.
like all his condiments, the ketchup, like mustard, cheese, and the cheese isn't melted, which cheese on top.
Ugh.
And he put the 2 burgers together with the sesame buns and just
You do realize this is Love and Murder Recipes again, right?
and
I hope
then
everyone's getting this. Okay.
the meat is pink, raw, uncooked, cold probably. And he took a bite and was like,
so gross.
So good.
So good, right? But so gross.
So gross. I mean, but is the
You do
same?
know.
isn't
You
it
do
the
know
same?
in Germany that's common though in certain cultures. Seriously,
Well, I was gonna say,
'Cause
isn't
my
that the
mother-
same as what
yeah.
do they call it, tartar or something? like
tartar.
that?
Yeah, but I thought tartar was already not ground, but the actual just the beef itself. Because hamburgers are just ground chuck or beef.
Yeah, but
that's
no,
all it is.
tartar is
So-
like a pate type of stuff. It's not just.
Is it already a pate? I thought it was a solid. Okay, well,
You don't
either
make
way,
me look this up now. Let me look it up.
No, I'm telling you because
Tartar.
you know I cook.
What
So,
is
but
tartar?
but in some cultures, definitely that's not in use. My mother-in-law would eat raw hamburger all the time when we would be sitting like at her table gossiping, and just having like I don't
Ew,
know some cold lemonade,
I guess.
and on a hot summer day, and she always did that. She would just pinch off of it. She would get a pack of ground beef, put it in the middle of the table.
Ew.
Well, in front of her actually, and she just would start pinching
No.
off of it.
Anyway,
Like I'm eating like chips, and she's going to town with the
ew.
hamburgers,
Steak
the ground
tartare.
beef.
It's actually spelled Tartare. Is
That's correct.
raw or nearly raw beef. Oh my God, raw or nearly raw beef served with egg yolk, and I'm seeing it doesn't look
Oh,
like
it is
strips
ground.
of beef. Yeah, it looks like
No, you're right. It is ground, and it's going to
ground
have
or
some
tiny,
seasonings in
tiny
it,
cube beef.
herbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be cubed, or it has herbs, and it's shaped or formed a certain way,
Looks
and then you just eat it that
disgusting
way.
to me.
There's a very popular Ethiopian dish made exactly the same way.
Yeah, I know.
Very,
I
very
saw
popular.
it, and if it's
Yeah.
usually you take the bread, you pick up a piece of bread with the meat, and you feed it to whoever you're respecting. So
Of course, and if you don't feed it, it's almost like you're not accepting or appreciating
if you don't
the meal of
feed
the
it,
person, or you just
yeah,
it's
exactly, it's
disrespectful. Yeah.
disrespectful, and if you don't eat it from that person, it's disrespectful. So I gotta tell you,
Right.
our Ethiopian listeners love you to bits. But I'm gonna
I
tell
love
you
the
right
bread too,
now,
though.
two things will not go over well with Ky.
Sticking your
Number
fingers
one,
in her mouth.
well, number one, raw meat. It's not happening. I don't eat raw anything. Even my sushi, I have vegan sushi because you're not giving me raw fish. It's not happening. I don't mean any disrespect, but y'all have to understand I come from a different culture. So I understand your culture is your culture, but understand my culture is my culture. So
And you can have your fish deep fried in 100 ways in any sushi restaurant these days. I just had some last night.
oh, okay.
So,
But the second
yeah.
thing that Ky is not going for is you sticking your let me
Fingers.
calm down. You sticking your hands in my food and then trying to stick it in my mouth. Not happening.
Even if it's a husband, like maybe that's okay.
My husband. You know how much stuff my mouth. Let me not say anything. That's my husband.
A husband should know their way around your mouth, but not your. But listen, think about it, not your eating partner or I just that's just my opinion
Look,
too.
my
Like,
brothers.
please don't put your fingers in my mouth.
If you want me to taste some of your food, I'll get it myself. Don't pick up the food with your hands and put it in my mouth. No, that's
Say,
my
hey,
brother.
taste this, Ky. Open up.
Yeah,
Open
no,
wide.
I'll give it to my child. My child could do that. That's my child. They literally pass through their entire face and everything passed through my vaginal wall. So I'm pretty sure I could, take
You
from
just might be close enough to say
exactly.
Okay.
So
You can-
like my kid,
Here's my fingers.
my kid and my husband. That's it.
Right.
Past that, don't put your fingers in my food. Don't put your fingers in my mouth. And I will respectfully tell you that. And you're just going to have to understand and not take offense. I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm not from Ethiopia.
No, she's not trying to offend the culture or anything. It's just not happening.
My throat will not work to swallow. I'm telling you, when I tell you my throat will not work to swallow that, I'll have to spit it out because it just won't swallow it. So
Ugh.
I just letting y'all know.
You just totally ruined my appetite. I just thought I was going to make this amazing meal after our show, but that's okay. I'll pass. But you know what? I'm with you on that one. I don't want anything in my mouth that's been
Finished.
I don't know
Finish
where.
what you were saying.
Yeah.
You don't want anything in
No.
your mouth. Right? Huh?
I'm just the listeners are going.
Okay.
Okay, Shara, you set yourself up for that one. let's get back to the story.
So
That's a good
the
segue.
twins both enjoyed the attention and respect that they were getting, regardless if the attention came from their criminal behavior and if their quote unquote respect was actually fear. Because in reality, that's all it was. They were getting attention because people wanted the stuff they offered. So it wasn't because of them. It was what you could give us. And the respect that they thought they were getting was actually people were afraid of them. So it wasn't really respect. It was fear.
It's fair. Yeah, it's not
Exactly.
quite the same.
Now, after a while, it became known, now check this out, that people who repeatedly visited their house would just freaking disappear.
No way, Ky.
Dude, wouldn't that stop you from going? Like, if that was, like, I know, okay, if you go to this house, you might just disappear.
Well, not only that, but I'm picturing that you said it was a mansion. It was a large, large, large home. And I'm picturing how many walls are in that house.
Dude.
I think that way. It's like,
I don't care.
All I know, lots of hiding.
I don't
Not
care
to
if it's
mention probably a
because
really large basement.
I'm falling behind walls or getting lost in there, or somebody's killing.
No.
If I hear people are disappearing, that's the last thing you're going to see of me from that guy.
Just once for
I'm not
me,
going back.
Yeah.
That's good. I will find it somewhere else. Don't worry about it. So,
but yet people continue to go to the house because they wanted freebies.
Go to the house, and this is what happened to a young lady named Gwen Duggar. Gwen Duggar was 24 years old at the time that she went over to their house, and this whole story happens. On the night of May 1986, she went over to the twins' house with her brother. He'd gone over so that the boys could work. Well, I can't say the boys, the men could work on his car. And she sat around and watched them work on the car and everything like that. And then when they were done, her and her brother decided to stay behind and chill with the twins for a while. Then, as it got late, her brother got up and was like, hey, time to go. It's dinner time. I'm hungry. Got to go do whatever the hell I got to do after this. And she was like, well, no, it's cool. I'll stay here. You go ahead and
I'll catch you later.
And she's like, no, I'll be fine with the twins. I know them. They're my boys. I'll be all right. And she was like, Pat was like, she can stay here and I'll take her. Take her home later. So her brother was like, okay, which that was his stupid mistake, because I'd be like, get your ass in the car before.
Yeah, it's your sister.
Yeah,
I would never.
Hello. No, get your butt in the car. Let's go. No, I'm being I will backhand get in the car.
And two men too. No, I don't care
it's not happening.
You know them. They're two men. No,
yeah, not happening.
Would not have agreed to that.
So she went missing. The next day, nobody found her. The day after that, nobody heard from her. She just went missing. So Gwen's family, understandably, began a search for her. And knowing that the last place she had been was at the twins' house, obviously that's where they started. They questioned the twins about Gwen, and they were like, I don't know. What the hell are you asking me for? I don't know. They said, they didn't know anything. Didn't even know she was coming over. And matter of fact, I haven't heard from her. So
but the brother's a witness that they were there together.
No, they didn't say that she wasn't there. They said, I haven't seen her since after she left. We didn't know she was coming over, but she came over, but then I don't know. What are you asking us for? She came, chilled, left, whatever. But Gwen's relatives wouldn't give up that easily. Her uncle, well, this part I just made up. I don't know which relative it was, but I'm just going to say for the sake of the story, it was her uncle. So bear with me. So yeah, her uncle went and confronted Pete. Pete, the one who stabbed up his roommates because the breeze blew warm that day and he couldn't take it. Yeah, that Pete. So he confronted Crazy Pete about his niece's whereabouts. And Pete got really angry and very defensive. And he said something like, quote, I ain't killed nobody. I've killed before. Stay away from me. I could do it again. But I didn't have anything to do with her.
But not her, but I've killed before.
Exactly. Now me, personally, somebody who's huge like that, towering over me, tells me that, knowing people go missing from his house, and he's like, I've killed before. Me, I would have been like, okay. So sorry to bother you.
Yeah, I don't
even know why I even came over here. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Gwen's probably at home baking cookies right now. So yeah, I'm gonna let myself out. So you sit there. No, don't get up. Don't get up. I'll let myself out. Then, as soon as I leave, drive away, because you don't do this in the driveway, because that's how it always happens in scary movies. They run, and then they stop still right there.
And they never make it off the driveway.
They're right there in the driveway. 911, why are you still there? My God.
Yes.
So, no, I will drive away, make sure nobody's following me.
Right.
And then
that rearview mirror is your friend.
You know what? 3 things. Either I'm going to call the cops, or I'm going to call the cops while I'm going to the cops. Or I'll simply just go to the cops. That's what's happening. They're paid.
Or actually, I was told you should drive, if you can't get to the police station, drive to the nearest Walmart and honk your horn.
I don't know.
Because there's Walmarts at every other corner.
That's
so
true, but honk
that's
your
just
horn,
what I've
nobody's
heard.
going to pay attention. That's like your freaking alarm going off. Nobody looks at that anymore. So
I don't know.
yeah. So anyway, I'll drive to the police station and let them deal with it because they're paid and trained to deal with this, and I'm not. So I would have done that. That's what I would have done. Now, you know, in a small town, somebody went missing, and there's already rumors flying around that people
Everyone would
missing.
know.
The gossip started to go wild. Some people
Wildfire,
heard rumors about what supposedly happened with the twins and Gwen. But even though it was rumors, check this out. They were still too scared of the brothers to even share them with anybody else. Like, they heard rumors between, like, the two of them. It was like, okay, shut up. Don't you tell anybody this. Even the twins' close friends, and I use that term very loosely, were so scared of them that even though they might have, been present when stuff was happening, so they held the most information to the whereabouts of missing people, they were too scared to tell anybody anything. Now, in comes Detective Robert Hitchcock. This is the detective who took over the case, and you would actually often see him usually searching forests, rural surroundings, or just basically anywhere he could think of to search for Gwen's body. Just in search of anything, a hint, a clue, something of where she was. But he never, ever, ever found anything. But a lot of people were saying, again with their rumors, a lot of people were saying that they think he might have found something, but even he was so scared of the twins that he never said anything.
I mean, what kind of hold do they have on these people?
I don't know.
That's just so uncanny. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that.
So,
I mean, I get it. They're intimidating, but big and intimidating. Well, there's two of them too.
yeah,
I don't know.
And they are known to be crazy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's
because
probably
of this,
it too.
the case dragged on and on for months and just not even a hint of a lead. So fast forward. Ronnie Gaines from Pulaski. I don't know where Pulaski is. But anyway, he worked at the same rubber plant that Pat worked at. Everyone liked Ronnie. He was friendly. He was the life of the party. No one just had anything bad to say about him. He was actually affectionately known by his co-workers as, quote, hippie. So they just call, hey, hippie, how's it going, hippie? So on the night of October 1986, Ronnie/hippie was at the twins' house playing cards and partying. And like all of a sudden, Pat accused him of stealing his wallet. And Ronnie was like, what are you talking about? No, I don't have your wallet. Next thing you know, no one heard from Hippie ever again.
Oh, no way.
Nope.
This the House of Horrors.
Ironically,
We don't know if where he is, but he just was never seen again after he left the card game.
Nope. Ironically,
Oh,
around this
jeez.
same time, his house was found burned to ashes. There was no body in
Whoa.
there, but his house was burned to the ground. So investigations into Ronnie's disappearance just it tried to go somewhere, but they didn't find anything. Just like Gwen, they found nothing. There were suspicions.
Without a trace.
There were
Wow,
rumors.
That's crazy.
Just like Gwen, but there was no hard evidence. Now, the state fire marshal, of course, suspected arson, and Pat ended up being taken in for questioning. Now, as a true bona fide badass, he brought his lawyer with him. I could just see them walking in there like with their suits and shit. He brought his lawyer with him. And of course, this made authorities like, I say, he got a lawyer and we're just bringing you in to question you, So
Right.
they're
Do you
like,
have something to defend
exactly.
here?
Now, through his lawyer, Pat said he had an alibi. And this alibi came in the form of his girlfriend, Terry Lynn Clark. Now, what surprises me about this is he had a girlfriend.
That's what I was going to say.
Somebody wanted to be with that crazy
somebody
person.
who wanted to be that close to him.
Like, seriously.
At any given day, with his breath on you, that would freak me
Dude.
out.
Dude.
No, that's okay.
Dude. So the police were like, okay, no problem. That's cool. We got you. You were with your girlfriend. That's your alibi. That's fine. So we're just going to set up an interview with Terry Lynn. And that's exactly what they did. They set up an interview for November 18th, 1986. Cool. Done deal. 2 days before the interview, she was mysteriously found dead at the twins' house. Now,
his girlfriend. That was the girlfriend.
Now, the brothers are the ones who actually called the police and reported that she died. And when the cops got there, they were like, I don't know. I think she was just taking too much coke and she died of an overdose in her sleep because she was in the bed with Pete and suddenly she's dead. So I don't know. And we couldn't have done it because we called you. So, right? So,
right.
Cool? Yeah. So here's the body. Anyway, take care of it. So Pat had told police that he and Terry Lynn had gone out of town, actually, on the night that Hippie disappeared. But the funny thing about that, though, is Terry Lynn kind of wasn't around anymore to confirm or deny his statements. So just take his word for it. I mean, they did let him. It was him who was in prison, right? No, it was Pete.
Yeah.
It was Pete who was
Pete.
in prison.
It was Sneaky Pete.
Yeah,
who was in prison.
Pete who was in prison. So basically, all of these cases went cold. No leads, no evidence, no new information, but a whole lot of gossip, which you can't build a case on gossip. So what do you think of this so far?
And of course it would be in a small, sleepy town. Why is that?
Because
I like that it's a good mystery. Well, doesn't it seem like a lot of our cases have been in a small, sleepy town? But yeah, I like that it is a juicy mystery because it's a twist, one twist after the other. Every time I think they're just going to find one of the bodies, then there's someone else that comes up missing. So I don't know. I'm my hands are up in the air right now. Like, I have no clue what's really happening. I'm still getting over the stabbing 40 times
Good Lord.
with the screwdriver. I mean, this just it's really close to Halloween for this story. So I'm going, God, this is so gruesome. It is. Oh,
So
very, very creepy.
3 years later, a new investigator took over the case.
3 years?
Yes.
That much time went past, and no one was discovered as guilty. No one was charged with anything, Ky?
No. Nope. 3 years.
Wow.
In 1989, Detective Michael Chapman came across a possible witness to one of the cases. Now, he said a possible witness and to one of the cases. Strap in. I didn't say use your strap on, people. I said strap in. Put it down and sit down and listen to the show. Okay.
Just hold on to your hat and your chair.
Yeah, it's not time. It's not time for strap-ons yet. Put it down. Okay. Strap in now.
That's another show. And we do know.
So the witness was Pat's ex-wife, Denise, which shocked me because somebody married him.
Well, I was going to say, where does she come from? Just like the girlfriend.
Dude.
Sneaky Pete's girlfriend. I was like,
getting the punani. Wow. Do you hear me?
I don't know how.
I don't
but it happened.
know how.
Someone walked down an aisle with him. Maybe she didn't hold his hand. She might have been too scared. But someone walked down an aisle. Wow.
So at the time that they found her, she was actually dating a law enforcement officer. So the reason why this is significant, just keep listening. Denise told police that she would talk if they granted her immunity. The police agreed. Now, I wonder if they agreed thanks to her new boyfriend. But then again, people, police do grant immunity to some people because they really want to catch the criminal more than they care about putting the witness in jail.
Exactly. So, that's pretty much when they do that.
Yeah, so it could be either or. It could be because of her police boyfriend, or they needed to catch the twins because they're just going around killing people. So
yeah, on the loose in that small town.
Yeah, so they
two lumberjack twins with flannel shirts. I'm just trying to picture.
Yeah, 250. They're probably bigger, but because that was when they were 12, 250 to 300 pounds. Yeah, they're probably way bigger than that. So, anyways. They said, sure, we're going to grant you immunity. And she started singing like a bird. And the things she had to say even shocked investigators who had already seen it all. So this quote comes before I get into this story. Quote, brutality is not something that's strange to me, but these two were beasts. That was said. So let's get into the eyewitness who possibly was an eyewitness and only saw one thing happen. Let's see how many things she actually saw happen. Denise told investigators that on the last night Gwen was seen, she was fed pills all night by Pat, Pete, and 2 other men. Later, Denise walked into the bedroom and witnessed Pat raping a semi-conscious Gwen. Denise was pissed. She slapped Gwen, trying to wake her up, and she yelled at Pete. So I guess Gwen came to her senses, like, oh, what's going on? And she stood up or whatever. And did I say Pete? I meant Pat. I can't remember.
Okay, Pat.
Either way, listeners, I told you I'm half asleep. So if I said Pete, I meant Pat. Anyways, so Gwen is standing up. She's groggy as crap. Denise is yelling at Pat. He calmly just grabbed an axe, flipped it over so it's the handle that's in his hand, like the handle that's facing everybody else and not the axe part, not the, the sharp part, but the handle, so the wooden handle part. So he has that facing everyone else. And he's probably taller because he's huge. So he takes this handle and he smacks the living F out of Gwen on her head as hard as he could.
Wow.
So when he hit her, she kind of just like lost her balance, like, oh my God. So he hit her a second time the same way. Whop! And that's when she fell. Then Pete, now this is the twin, so this is Pat who hit her. Pete then came into the room with a .22 and shot Gwen in the head 2 times.
I mean, they have to do everything together, even murder. Oh, jeez.
Then,
oh my gosh,
both together, the twins burned her body for 3 nights in their backyard. Then they put her body in a 55-gallon drum.
Oh, come on. This just can't be. You can't make this stuff up, or can you?
I mean, you could. But anyway, they put her body in a 55-gallon drum, and then they burned it more until only ashes were left. Then they dumped her ashes in a creek near Pat's rented farmhouse in Elkton. And yeah, that's what they did with her. And then Pete actually kept the bullet cases that he'd used, to shoot her. So he actually kept those cases. And whenever he would get around people he knew, he would rattle the empty cartridges and then threaten them with the same fate if they, quote, didn't act right.
I wonder if
so that's
was so
I was
fearful.
about to say. That's probably why people didn't say anything.
There's always those warnings in there, the subliminal messages.
Now,
my gosh.
When it came to Hippie, Denise said that he had come over to play cards, eat pizza, and drink beer that night. And like we said, Pat accused him of stealing his wallet. And when Hippie said he didn't do it, because he was like, I didn't take your freaking wallet, dude. Chill out. Pat picked up. This dude is playing cards, minding his business. Stop accusing me of stealing your wallet, dude. Like, I didn't steal your wallet. Do you have any 2s? Pat was like,
I know, you have an ace of spade, or do you have
he said, go fish, MFer. And he picked up a small rocking chair and bashed him in the head with that chair until all that was left of the wooden chair was splinters.
Ugh.
Then Pat called Pete. Pete came.
His sidekick, of course.
And the 2 of them put Hippie in their bathtub, and they cut his body into tiny, tiny pieces. Then they took those.
Oh, they've got too much time in their hands. Oh my!
I mean, where are they going? They only spend time together. Nobody's expecting them.
That's true.
And then Denise is sitting there watching all this, so she's already there. So where are they really going? Everybody they need is right there. So anyway, then they took those pieces and spread them across that same farmland. They spread them across the farmland, and then they went to Hippie's house and set it on fire. Finally,
wow!
I know y'all are wondering what happened to Terry Lynn. Denise, who they only thought only saw one thing, as you can see, she saw everything. Denise said she watched as Pete gave her okay, now bear with me. I'm going to have to try and pronounce this. A powerful barbiturate seco barbiturate, I think. Anyway,
you kind of said barbiturate twice in different ways, so we
barbiturate
twice.
Seco barbital. Anyway, they gave her a drug while she sat on a.
She drinks.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, they gave her a drug while she sat on a beanbag chair. So, according to medlineplus.gov, a seco barbital is used on a short-term basis to treat insomnia. It's also used to relieve anxiety before surgery. Secobarbital is in a class of medications called barbiturates. It works by slowing activity in the brain. So that was from Medline Plus. And they fed her.
It'll slow your reflexes down. She's just sitting there in a haze
so
and a
it's
daze.
probably like her lungs just stopped working, and like her body just slowly shut down and died.
So they're pills, but that's what it does.
And this was what caused her overdose. So, with Denise's statement, investigators took what she said and searched the farmhouse and the land for forensic evidence. And what they found was actually enough to bring the twins in and charge them with 3 murders. Not just one, like they were expecting.
Not just one. Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Yep. The twins were brought to trial for these charges, and they pled. What did they plead?
Not guilty.
That's freaking
Your
right.
Honor.
Not guilty.
Always not guilty.
Oh,
Everyone
Lord.
remember that.
Now, the trial only lasted like a couple weeks, even though they were like, we didn't do anything. We're not guilty. The trial lasted like 2 weeks. And most of the verdict was based on Denise's testimony. She better watch her back when they get out. I'm like,
I was thinking, I don't know if I would have sung like a bird unless I'm going to move to Bora Bora or something. Like maybe you can't find me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, most of everything was based on her. And Pat ended up being convicted of first-degree murder. Pete was convicted of helping his brother dismember and burn a victim's body. They were also charged with arson for burning down Hippie's house.
Hippie's house.
And the twins received second-degree murder charges because there were only charred remains and no actual body.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, even burning the remains or burning the body itself, it comes with its own charges.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. So
yeah, but you heard the story, so it's like all the evidence was there to match the story. So I would have been first degree.
But you know what? Honestly, you know what I've got to say? I've got to say about the girlfriend. That's the wife. I'm sorry. I think it was the wife. Good job. Ex-wife.
Good job.
Well, that's why she's an ex.
She sat and watched all this, and she sat on this information for 3 years.
But listen, Ky. She was terrified. Okay, look at it
like
this.
I guess so, because I wouldn't.
Because they would have killed her if she interrupted.
Either. You're right.
You already know how they are. So she was terrified from the moment it started, and every day after that for 3 years, she was still scared because she knew she's next.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said
But
anything
at some point, right. She's like, you know what? That's it. I can't take this anymore. I've got justice needs to be served because there's several lives. There's 3 lives at stake here, and these people were crazy.
I think she
these
also
boys
felt
are just out of
safer
control.
that her new boyfriend was like a cop, so she probably felt safer.
Oh, she definitely felt safer because if it wasn't for him. As a matter of fact, once she shared her, eventually you spill the beans to your lover, your husband, or whoever, you just kind of, because it's like your best friend. So the thing is, I believe if she hadn't been with him or met him, she would have kept that secret, maybe taken it to her grave. And then these poor victims would have never had justice.
She probably would have been
that's
on
why I
our
say
next
good job.
episode of Deathbed Confessions number 24.
Well, yeah, it would have definitely been on that because she would say, okay, I know I'm dying of 6 types of cancer. And,
Damn.
but I know that's a lot, right? But I've got to share something. Please, can I have a little water first? I'm parched.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's just.
So basically,
is this really the earth that we live on? Do we live in the same world with these people?
So basically, both of the brothers were convicted in the murder of Gwen Duggar, Pat was convicted of killing Ronnie Hippie Gaines. And even though he was already serving a life prison sentence, he was convicted of this. And Pete was convicted of Terry Lynn Clark's murder and the arson of Hippie's house. On December 26, 2016, after only serving 25 years in prison, Pete Bondurant was released. Can you imagine that?
That's that small town justice again. That's the only thing I can bring it back to. Because had he been in Texas, well, there were small towns in Texas, but anywhere
Florida,
in
Texas, yeah,
you'd still be under the jail.
Yeah. Now, upon completing his sentence, Pete told the parole board that he was a changed man, quote unquote, and they were like, "We believe you. Have a great day, Mr. Pete."
Exactly. You're released. You're afraid of the world. Just remember, only kill on Tuesdays. Okay. I can remember that. I'll mark my calendar because I'm going to do it again.
On his release, Pete opened a Facebook account and posted a picture of him smiling in his familiar flannel shirt and overalls. Yeah, I wonder if we could find a picture of... I'm pretty sure.
Because 16 was not that long ago. He might still have an active account.
Yeah.
If we do, do you think we could post it for our listeners?
Post it in our fan group. Yeah. So just search. Oh,
that's a great idea.
Search either Google or Facebook. Search for Love and Murder fan page, and it'll come up. It'll be the first thing that comes up.
And then tell us what you think, guys. You can also put your comments there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Tell us what you think of these crazy stories. And like I said, tell us what you think of his Facebook picture. Does he look remorseful, or you think he is an actual changed man, or he's just trying not to get caught? I don't know. Pat Bondurant is still in prison and is expected to be released in 2070. So,
okay, so I'm going to ask that question. How in the world did one twin get released? I know that one was an accomplice and one actually did the dirty deeds, but do you get that? I mean, what?
I think one of them killed more than the other. That's probably Pete.
Possibly.
So Pete helped dismember Hippie, but he didn't kill him. But he did kill Gwen. He shot her with the .22, but Pat beat the crap out of her.
Yeah, but he still shot her though. But
Pat beat the crap out of her. He shot her. Then Pat beat the crap out of Hippie, and Pete helped him dismember Hippie. And then they never said which one.
What did the first murder?
No, the third murder.
The young lady.
No.
The third murder.
Pat did the first. Well, Pat and Pete. So Pat beat her with the axe handle, and Pete came in and shot her. Then with Hippie, Pat beat him with the rocking chair, and then Pete came in and helped dismember him. And then they didn't ever come out and say who fed Terry Lynn the pills. So if you're just looking at the evidence, I guess Pete didn't do as much as Pat did. To me, they're both...
Yeah, but the 25 years is a joke.
Yeah, it's totally a joke. Totally.
Well, the 5 years initially. Remember that?
Good Lord. That's a hilarious
He should have been retried. Oh, no, you can't be retried. That's double jeopardy. That's double jeopardy. Okay.
So, Pat is still alive. Pete is still alive. And Hippie, Terry Lynn, and Gwen are all dead.
And actually, one is on the loose, remember, on Facebook.
Yeah. And...
Imagine that.
That is their story. So, if you like this episode, go to Apple Podcasts, hit the purple button, and give us 5 stars.
5.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You can say whatever you want in the description, but this helps bring us up in the charts and we'd be ever so grateful to you. Don't forget to visit us on Patreon and become a subscriber for just a lot of different stuff. If you just want to hear crazy crime episodes like this dude going across the street and killing his neighbor and then cooking her heart for dinner to feed his family with some potatoes and gravy, definitely come over to our Patreon. If you want to hear relationship stories, like I can't think of any of the relationship stories that we've given, but if you want to hear relationship stories, come on over there. If you want to hear the crazy questions we get, like, I don't know, I saw my boyfriend actually having sex with another girl. Would you consider that cheating? Then,
Or what about the hand job guy?
oh
Is
yeah.
it? Is it?
Oh, good Lord. Let's
He wanted to. He wanted to. What did he want to do?
Well,
he wanted to break up with his girlfriend.
no.
Leave. No, the
He
side
was
piece gives the
wondering
good hand
if
jobs.
he should
but
leave his girlfriend because
his
she
girlfriend.
did everything for him.
Everything.
She
but
was
the
the
good hand jobs.
dream woman anybody would
Yes.
ever want to be with, but she didn't do hand jobs. But this other girl,
She didn't do them at
this
all.
other girl who was complete and utter trash, a bum, just pooh, she did hand jobs. So his question was, who should he choose?
Believe it or not, people do write in these stories to us.
I
these
promise you
questions,
that
and
was
they
the
really, these are
question
real.
to
They're
us,
real.
and we told
valid.
him to just jump in the river and leave them both alone. Just
Yes, we did.
Leave them
We
both
did.
alone.
And kick rocks
Yes,
while you're
kick
at
it,
it.
kick it hard to break your toe.
Yes. Break all your
So,
toes.
yeah.
Idiots.
If you want to hear relationships questions like that and our answers that we give, definitely visit us on Patreon. If you want to ask your relationship questions, all of it is anonymous. I forgot how Char says anonymous, but anyways,
It's anonymous.
all of it is anonymous. So you can get an answer to your question, but we don't tell your name. We don't post your name. So it's completely anonymous. So visit us at patreon.com if you want that. If you want to hear my new show, which is called The Chit Show, where I talk chit about a bunch of like different shows on YouTube or different interviews I've seen or just different stuff. I'm just sitting there shooting the chit. Go ahead.
And you're adding lots of humor to it too. That's the fun
I'm
part.
just being me.
Just the sarcasm and don't forget about Char's crazy bonus episodes as well. You guys get that too.
Oh God. If you want to
And
hear Char's
with
stories,
subscriber.
Lord have mercy,
our
where this
Patreon.
girl was on the corner of a street dressed like a hooker and somebody came and picked her up. No, I said
wasn't
dressed like a
as
hooker. You were dressed like a hooker.
No, it was a costume. It was a
costume
CSI
of a hooker.
costume. No, it was a CSI costume with a bulletproof vest, a handcuff belt. Okay, with studs.
She was dressed like a hooker.
Handcuffs
with
a
handcuffs.
detachable handcuff belt, short shorts,
A hooker.
and high heels. Because it was mandatory.
Like I said, she was dressed like a hooker standing on the corner of streets. That's what she was doing. And some car came and picked her up.
In my
and
defense,
she
there was
got
a
in the
bus
car.
I was waiting for at the corner.
She was waiting for
I was
a
waiting
bus,
for
but
a
she got
bus
into
that
her
broke
car.
down on my way to work. Yes.
So anyways, if you want to hear
Okay.
her crazy,
If you guys want to hear the rest
her
of that
life
story.
decisions, people, then go to patreon.com. I'm telling you.
And these are true stories.
If you go to Patreon, you'll have so much fun over there.
It's like one big gift
We're
basket
still
to
building
you.
it up, but it's all coming
Yes.
and you'll
Lots
get it
of fun.
all. Yes. So visit us on patreon.com/love and murder and become a subscriber of $3 and above. Not only are you going to get all these crazy stories, all these just craziness where you could laugh and have fun with us, but your donation will help us basically bring you better stories, bring you better sound, and
better equipment for that.
But what it won't help,
anyone critical.
what it won't help is,
Yes.
as that previous person said, it's not going to help us stop cackling like hens. We gonna cackle, because that's what we do.
Banter. We love to laugh and talk and joke, and yes, we do bring our own lives into it. That's why we have Char's crazy stories, because I can't bring my life into every one of our episodes. It's just too many crazy things that happen. So we actually have an entire segment.
I've known Char for I don't even know how many years, and even I don't believe these stories. You gotta listen to these things. But anyways, follow us on social media, facebook.com/relationship crime, Instagram @Love Murder Podcast. Like I said, our Facebook fan group where you could discuss these episodes with us, these cases, or you could even bring us new cases, or we even post cases that's out and maybe you haven't heard of them yet. So just search for Love and Murder fan page in Facebook, or go to go to Google and type in Love and Murder fan page, and it'll be the first thing that comes up. Don't forget, we have true crime merch. We are your place to go to for the true crime merch. Just go to loveandmurder.threadless.com. But the easiest way to get all of these links all in one place, even to listen to our episodes all in one place, like you don't have to go to 15 different places, just one place. you can visit our website at www.murderandlove.com. That's love and murder backwards, www.murderandlove.com. And all our links are there. You can catch everything in one place.
So
there.
easy.
And before I wrap up for the night, a good, easy, it's free. It's not time consuming. It maybe takes you 10 seconds, maybe less.
Yeah, about 10, maybe 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
way to share
just to click on
our
over there.
episode, just to help us out and just help us out. Help us out. We need your help. We need you. Just simply hit share on this episode. That's all you gotta do. Hit share and share it to your social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know what others. I'm old, as my daughter tells me.
Twitter.
I'm old. So share it to whatever.
Snapchat. Can you share on Snapchat?
No idea.
I don't know.
I've never been on Snapchat.
I don't know. Just share.
Share. Yes. You can send it to your friend's email. You can send it to WhatsApp. You can send it to
WhatsApp. That's
regular text messages. Just click share right now. Like right now. Like I don't even have to stop talking. Like click the share button. Is those two.
See, you've already done it. You're already done.
Click share and then share it. While, you don't even have to listen to me finish talking. Thank you. Thank you in advance though. Thank you for sharing.
We appreciate it.
And if you are a twin, if you know twins, if your brother or sisters are twins, if you have twin friends or twin cousins or twin whatever, your mom is a twin, your dad is a twin.
If you have twin enemies.
If you have twin enemies especially, remember to remind them all. Just because they're twins or you're twins and you do everything together, you could do this together. Make sure you remember it's all love and no murder, y'all. Peace.
Have a great week.